You are listening to the Retail's New Normal podcast series hosted by Magestore. Each episode, we will share a lot of retail insights and best practices of how business is growing during or post COVID-19 pandemic. So, are you ready to adapt to a new normal? Let's join us.
Hi everyone, thank you for joining our latest episode, Retail's New Normal series. It has been a couple of weeks since our last episode and we cannot wait to talk to you guys today. So in today's episode, we're going to discuss everything about why you as a retailer need to focus more on local shopping to grow your retail business in the middle of the pandemic. And we're here with our special guest, Aisling. She's truly an expert in this topic and she represents a Pointy from Google, a partner of Magestore. So hi Aisling, thank you for joining us today. Can you introduce a little bit about yourself to the news retail news normal audiences?
Sure. Hi everyone, and thanks for having me. My name is Aisling. I am a marketing associate with Pointy from Google. I suppose, a small bit of background on me is that I've actually been working with Pointy for nearly 4 years now. We began as a startup based in Dublin in Ireland, but we were acquired by Google in early 2020. So, as I said, we're based in Dublin, and funnily enough, I actually first heard about Pointy from seeing a Pointy sticker in the window of one of my own local businesses here. And it caught my eye. I asked them about it, and that was kind of the start of my journey with Pointy. So delighted to be here to chat to you, like generally all about local retail, but more specifically, I suppose, about Pointy and how it can help you during the pandemic.
Yeah, wow. That's amazing. It's very nice to see you, and thanks for sharing your interesting story with us. And because I think the audience will be curious about the connection between Pointy and the topic of this episode today, which is about local shopping, right? So can you share more about Pointy's mission and how you guys at Pointy have a very strong expertise on local shopping and best practices?
Yeah, sure. And as I said, when I first heard about Pointy, the thing that drew me to the company was what they were trying to do for local retail. So to give everyone a bit of introduction on Pointy, I suppose firstly our mission is to just bring the Pointy service to the world's retailers. So to explain it a bit more, Pointy, it is a service that helps retailers to show their in-store inventory and their in-store products on Google. So, we recognize that oftentimes in a local retail store, the owner may wear many hats, and it can be difficult to keep up to date with challenging shopping trends or, all the different things that go along with making your store successful. So in that way, the Pointy service was really built with local retailers in mind. So what we do is the whole aim of it is to help local retailers to display their in-store products online, so that you can imagine when a shopper is searching online for a specific product near me or a specific store near me, they can see the products that are available in a local store and then go to the physical store to complete the purchase. So I think what we've seen is that, especially over the last couple of years, the first thing people do is just pick up their phone and see, where could I buy this product, or where is this available? So if we can do our part in being able to tell the person, it's actually available just down the street. And, show them where they can get it nearby to them. And then that way they're able to, support their local businesses as they do that. And they can go in there, complete the purchase. And then, of course, I suppose they have the product in their hand. So you don't even have to wait, obviously for delivery or anything like that. So it's a win-win really for everybody. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure.
So I think Pointy solution really helped local business to go online much easier rather than having to build a complete website, right? They don't actually need a website. They only need a couple of things to get the product to go online. So that is a plus for them. But before go into the other details of that, you mentioned about changing shopping trends. So do you have any insights about how local shopping becomes a huge trend during or post-COVID-19? I mean, how COVID-19 has changed the way we shop locally?
Yeah, I mean, I think, COVID-19 has obviously changed an awful lot in people's lives, and
Mm-hmm.
the way that we shop actually and appreciate, I think, our local businesses has definitely changed in a positive way. I think as consumers, as shoppers, all of us, we had quite a decisive role in keeping our local businesses above water, during the different lockdowns and stay-at-home orders that we had. I think from what I can gather anyway, COVID really made people realize what's important in general, and it's kind of the people and the community that surrounds you. So in terms of the businesses, you can think about the cafes, the bookstores, the flower shops, the hardware stores, these guys that you see on the main street of your town or
Yep.
village, and they're just really vital, I think, to the community. And I think that has really been brought to the forefront of people's minds in the last couple of years. I know for me anyway, like having stores and amenities within walking distance from my home is definitely something I won't overlook again. I hadn't
Yep.
really thought about it that much beforehand, but having these things, that you can just pop to and walk to or whatever, it's really invaluable. And I think as well, what I've seen is that they're a lifeline for many of, say, our elderly or more vulnerable citizens, so this really led people, I think, to want to support their local businesses by shopping
Exactly.
locally. Yeah, definitely over the last few years it's been heightened for sure.
Exactly.
That's true.
That makes a lot of sense actually, because as for me personally, right, when the place that I'm currently living in, it just got easier recently, not before. For the past 2 months, everything went to lockdown. Me and my family
Yeah.
couldn't go anywhere. That's far from my house actually. So we got given stamps to go to the supermarket. Without that stamp, you cannot go through the booths that the police set up, because we got booths everywhere, every entrance to my house. Without that stamp, you cannot go anywhere. So we
Yeah.
could only go to the shop nearby. That's when I'm aware that the importance of the communities around us. COVID-19 really makes me feel a bit grateful and connected with my neighborhood, which I often overlook. So we talked about the importance of local shopping. So if a new local store wants to open during this time, what are the opportunities and also the challenges for local retailers to grow in the time of COVID, in your opinion, of course?
Yeah, so I think one kind of leads into the other. I think obviously there have been so many challenges for retailers during the pandemic. Stores had to shut, and there was all sorts of different things going on. But it's funny because on a positive note, what we've seen is that due to a lot of the challenges that people faced, and especially, retailers, they became very innovative and thought of a lot of new ways that they can connect to their customers. And I'd say we've all seen them, but a few examples from talking to some of our retailers that use Pointy, a few examples that I've come across is, obviously a lot of stores added new fulfillment methods. So say click and collect, I know, is a big one, or curbside pickup, where you could just come in your car and they'd have the products ready for you. But also on the smaller scale, others added options like letterbox gifts was one store we saw whereby so you could buy, say, specific items that were chosen because of their size, and they could be packed and delivered through a letterbox. So
that's
it was
interesting.
to avoid any changing of hands at the doorstep and all things like this. And I'd say, I've gone to a lot of different, or I've watched a lot of different videos whereby, stores have been providing these videos or online consultation with their customers to stay connected. So, what I think is, in terms of opportunities, is that the stores often, I think, will keep these new fulfillment options going forward. Do you know what I mean? So while the pandemic kind of accelerated the adoption of these services, they'll now continue to have them for their business going forward. So that's a positive thing that's come out of it.
Yeah, that's true. So you mentioned a lot of creative ways to that local businesses are using, such as like something that can apply for both online e-commerce website and physical store like click and collect, right? And other things
Yeah.
like videos and online consultations. So in terms of being more popular on the like in the online world, so would you recommend some best practices that help like local merchants enhance their online presence and also boost sales?
Yeah, so I think in terms of best practices, my major recommendation is just that firstly, all your store information is easily available online. So as we said, with more shoppers going online to check information before coming to a store, it is a really important step. So, say if someone is searching for pharmacy near me or opening hours of your specific store, you want them to be able to get that information as quickly as possible.
Yes,
So
that's you.
yeah, like if anyone who's listening hasn't yet, I would recommend you set up a Google business profile account where basically you can just put in all of the information, your opening hours, your phone number, location. You can also actually put in, there's a lot of new things that have gone in over the last few years where you can put in what different COVID measures your store has in place.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think that's just so useful for people. I know a lot of people I'd say are still quite nervous. So if they're able to see what different measures you have in place, that'd be great. So yeah, in terms of that one, I know a lot of businesses already have their business profile set up, but if you haven't, I would highly recommend it. It's a free service, and you can do it just on google.com/business. So just type that in, check it out, and you can set up your business there. And then I suppose alongside of that, then Pointy works with that, so basically Pointy can help you further attract people to your store by displaying the actual products that you have in your store at the moment on your business profile. So again, imagine someone is looking up your store for your opening hours or whatever it is, and then think about how much more beneficial it would be if they could actually just browse the products that you stock directly there on your business profile. So that would give them more than enough information to come into the store and complete the purchase. So the two kind of work together, and you can just see how one leads into the other. They could be just looking for your opening hours, and the next thing they can actually see, oh, they do have the thing I'm looking for, and I wonder do they have something else, and they can kind of browse. And again, I think people are definitely doing that more. So they just kind of want to know that the product is going to be there if they do make the trip to the store. So I think those two working in tandem would be great.
That's very useful. I think it's the most fundamental step, that is to take advantage of like Google search. Like at my store, we also rely on a lot of like Google search engine, to be honest, because like everyone seems like to go into Google and to search things they want to buy or to get information from, right? So it has a lot of online traffic. So yeah, I think it's the fastest way and also most effective way to connect and acquire more clients. But I also see that sometimes local businesses are a bit slow in adopting online transformations compared to like big retail group or businesses. I think it's because most local store are small businesses. They might not have a technical team to take care of the technical aspect. So what could be an easy way for them to go online as quickly as possible?
Absolutely right. Like with my job, I get to speak to a lot of local retail stores, and most of them don't have a dedicated tech team or even a dedicated person who takes care of the technology aspect, like you were saying. Like, so it often then would fall to the owner, to the other members of staff to kind of upskill, or I suppose just to take on that responsibility. And I think one thing to note here, as you said at the very start, is that online doesn't always mean e-commerce. It doesn't mean setting up a full-blown e-commerce website for your store or anything. It's just as simple as increasing your online presence. So shoppers know, your store is there. It has the products they're looking for, and they can come in and get them when they want. So I think, yeah, as I said earlier, Pointy was built with retailers in mind. So, for example, the setup, very simple. It only takes a very small amount of time. And the major selling point, I think, is that it integrates just with the day-to-day working of your store. So once you have Pointy installed, you just continue to run your store as normal. So all you have to do is, as you scan products at the register, they'll be uploaded to Google for you. And it's as simple as that. So once it's installed, scanning the barcode is all we need to go away and upload the product onto Google. So as I said, the aim is really to increase your online presence so that when shoppers, again, are searching for a specific product using, these near me searches, your store has the opportunity to appear for them, and they'll know that you'll have the product they're looking for. So yeah, as we said at the very beginning, it's not a case that you have to build a full e-commerce website or anything like that. Simply, having your store information online, and also with Pointy, again, once it's installed, all you have to do is just continue scanning the barcodes as normal. So it's not too much of an extra effort by the way of the retailer. So I think it's a great way, to take that first step into getting your products online, just so even people can see that you have them and then come into the store to purchase. You don't need to go and set up a full e-commerce website or anything like that.
It's true. I think that if local retailers really want to meet the needs of their customer, then making their in-store product visible online is a great first step, starting with Pointy. And Pointy really helps them to do what with ease and on what you have just shared with us. So I'm a bit curious about how it works for a real specific example that Pointy helps them to connect their physical store to online. If you could share me.
Yeah, sure. I have two different success stories that I wanted to highlight, because it really just talks about exactly what we've been talking about this whole time. So the first is a store. It's called Family Feed, based in the US, and their owner Harley McIntyre. And we actually have a quote from Harley, and he says, "Literally every week I see new customers that found us on Google. This integration, including the way that the search results are presented, make it look like I have an IT staff when in fact it's automatic. We now have regular customers that travel more than 1 hour away to get specific products that they know we carry. And I estimate that our pet food sales have increased 30% since the implementation of Pointy." So that quote I just wanted to share, because it's exactly as we were saying, the way that it's all set up. He says, makes it look like he has an IT staff when in fact it's all automatic on his end. So that's definitely a good one to point out. And having his products on the business profile is really what's driving a lot of this new traffic into his store. And the second one then I had is actually a store based in the UK. It's a health food store. And she talks more specifically about how Pointy helped during the pandemic. So this is Katerina, the owner. And what she says is that Pointy has been a massive help to us in this past year. It seems lockdown has people turned both to the internet and to local shops at the same time. So being able to have a product-led Google presence has really increased footfall for us, and people generally knowing that we're here. As a food shop, we've been able to stay open throughout lockdown, and having Pointy in place already has been one of the many serendipitous details that helped us do really well out of a difficult situation. So again, you can see there that she's obviously saying that it's increased footfall as people could search their products, but also, as we were saying, generally just people knowing that the store is there, and knowing, all the different products that they stock. Even if they're not looking for anything specifically, they can then browse all the different products they stock. So again, these are just two examples of success stories that we've had over the last while. And you can see in both of these cases, there's been increased footfall into the physical stores. And again, this is because shoppers can, see the products before making the trip to the store to complete the purchase. So when they're doing their research online, they can see, oh yeah, health and food has that. I can nip down there to get it from them. So Yeah,
Yep.
they're just two examples, but I hope because I know oftentimes, obviously, these real world examples are much better than me just telling you about Pointy, seeing how other people are,
That
using
is
it and
true.
seeing how it helps
Yeah.
is definitely more powerful, I think.
But that is two wonderful examples, to be honest. Then I think there's no doubt that Pointy helps a lot of local stores to go online easier in terms of technical aspect. So they
Hmm.
don't have to do much of the IT basically, and also attract a lot of new visitors to the store. So do you think local shopping will continue to grow substantially after the pandemic, maybe to 2020? And why is there a way of doing business?
Yeah, I think it will, I think although the pandemic, it did accelerate a lot of digital adoption, online sales definitely grew. There is actually research that shows it's expected that most purchases will still be made in stores by 2024 even, so that it's actually 78% in store versus 22% online. Um, and the same research actually shows that retailers with a strong digital offering will gain additional sales in the next 5 years, even if the customers do choose to come in to buy in store from them. So I think, thinking about that, it kind of emphasizes the importance of this, integrated retail experience across both online and offline. So by that, I mean, say if someone is on their phone searching for where can I buy X product near me, you want to give your store every opportunity to appear for them so they can come in to complete the purchase. So,
Yep.
as I mentioned earlier, I do think the pandemic definitely made people realize, myself included, how important their local businesses are.
Yeah.
So I'd be very hopeful that will continue well into the future.
Yeah. Well, couldn't agree more on that. So I hope many local businesses, if they are listening to this podcast, they will continue to trust their journey even more. Right. So just one of my last questions here for you. So what is your advice for those who want to start a brand new local business at this point and want to acquire new users during this time?
Yeah, great question. I think it's all about getting your name out there, making sure people know, all about your business. So your opening hours, what services you offer, what products you sell, again, not to sound like a broken record, but people have changed the way they shop. So people are turning to their phone or their devices first to research the products they want and where it is that they can purchase them. I think everyone wants to know kind of now beforehand that they'll be able to get what they're looking for, or the store will definitely be open, things like that before they make the trip. So as you can imagine, if a shopper is searching for a specific product you carry and your store doesn't show up, they'll just presume you don't have it. And that mightn't be the case. But if they're doing their online search beforehand and your store is not appearing, you can see how they would just presume, oh, it mustn't be available there because I can see it's available in another store. So I think making sure that people know about your store and the products that you stock is definitely crucial to a new local business. And again, that kind of the business profile and using Pointy to show your products are two very easy ways which you can get up and running in that respect.
Yep. I think with all the insight that you bring to retail's new normal audiences today, it's helpful. And I believe that it will also beneficial for small local merchants out there who are experiencing hardship during the pandemic. So just for anyone that doesn't know, Magestore is integrated with Pointy. So if for any reason, if you are a Magestore customer, or if you are not yet a Magestore customer, but you are think Pointy will help you, then just contact our business consultant. We want this episode to be a lot longer, but we hope Aisling would bring more exciting things in other episodes of the Retail's New Normal podcast someday in the future. So we had really great time with you today, Aisling. So to have a really good conversation about retail insight. So we thank you again for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, and I hope anyone who's listening found this somewhat useful anyway, and yeah, would love to come back on in the future if you'll have me.
Yep, awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you,
of course.
Aisling.
Alright, so that's it for this week's episode of The Retail's New Normal. Thank you all for listening, and don't forget to follow us on your favorite podcast app because you will receive more content from us about retail insights. And of course, don't miss our next episode. Make sure you also visit our website, magestore.com, where you can also learn about doing retails in the right way, with all the tools and knowledge that will make your business a success. Once again, this is Kate.
And this is Keenan.
Wishing you a happy podcasting.